Hello everyone, I welcome you to another edition of EDT 832. This is the lesson 2 of the course. My name is Ayodeji Muhyiddin Badmus. Let's preview of what we learned in the lesson 1. In the lesson 1, we define educational media. What is educational media? We define it to ourselves. We talk about the characteristics of educational media and we state different categories of educational media and we give ourselves the hardware and software. We mention various examples of what we have. Now, on lesson 2, what are we going to learn? So, let's start with the lesson 2 and let's go to the class. Let's go. Now, you are welcome back to the class. This is the lesson 2 of EDT 832. My name is Ayodeji Muhyiddin Badmus once again, and the lesson 2 is on preparation of educational media. Now, what are we going to learn? The learning outcome. On this lesson, at the end of the unit, we should be able to distinguish between the various categories of audio media that we use in education. Then we should be able to describe the instructional uses of each of the audio media. Then we describe how to make a good use of this audio recording. Now, the audio media, like in the lesson 1, we define to ourselves, these are forms of media that carry sound alone. They are wholly appealing to sense of hearing. They are teaching and learning devices that mostly appeal to sense of hearing. Now, we have various examples. We mentioned in the lesson 1, and we have serious examples. We have tape, like tape recorder. We have record. We have audio broadcast, language laboratory, compact disc, laser disc player, stereo system, public address system, microphone, amplifier, educational mixer, headphone, telephones, and so many. There are more than this, but we need to familiarize ourselves with little. The finger of this are still showing in the right side. You can see we have the audio cassette, we have disc, we have speaker, we have headphone, microphone, we have radio set, and others like that. As an educational technology, we should be able to familiarize ourselves with all these audio media. Now, why we need to use this audio media in the classroom? The audio media can be used for vocabulary practice. This one is common in the language lab among the language people. In the language lab in the university, college of education, polytechnic, where the communication is being taking place, they have language lab. And when we get into the lab, we see these audio media being set up. So another one for dictation. We use audio media for direct instruction, then gathering of information from different categories of people. So that know-how we cannot do with the audio media for when we have larger audience. It's very, very important and it saves us from the time waste. Then advantages of audio media. They present stimulating verbal messages to the learner. Then the illiterate and blind learners can easily learn from audio media. This is one of the media that we use for these special people. Then audio media are cheaper to procure, readily available, and faster in application. They are not difficult to use. Technical equipment required to record, playback, and audio communication are easily to operate. So it doesn't require manual to operate like other media. We'll talk about that one later. Now, audio media in the classroom. Where do we use audio media in the classroom? One, radio itself is the transmission and reception of signal by means of electric waves without the use of connecting wires. It is one of the most potent methods of mass communication because it covers wide area of people where you can reach to a long way, where people can have access to information. Radio is an integral part of the lives of Nigerians, not only in Nigeria, worldwide. Many homes have and do listen to radio each day. So that is why radio is important and we need to use it in the classroom for instruction too. Now, importance of radio in the classroom. The potential of radio as an educational medium is enormous. So we just talked about little here. Learning take place immediately when we make use of audio media. Emotional impact and authenticity, because they are hearing it from the horse's mouth, from the teacher, and it can also provide learner with information. It increases discernment of social significance, develop desirable attitude, increase appreciation of aesthetic values, stimulate interest and further study, arouse learner to think and act. Now, the tape recorders is one of the audio media equipment that's very important. It is a sound recording and reproduction device that records and playback sound, usually using magnetic tape for storage. Most of the time we make use of it to record, take it to where we can make interview and do honest things that are required for an instructional purpose. Now, it is useful in speech training, reading, composition, comprehension, drama, discussion, singing, poetry, music, dancing, and so many. So in the school, we make use of it to do so many things. Like I said the other time, that we make use of it in the language lab. Then also among the audio media like radio, CD, record, and audio tape, the only one where it is really practical for teachers and lecturer to produce their own materials is the audio tape. And this is the example figure of the audio tape recorder. Now, there are two types of these. The first one, we call it open reel recorders. Open reel recorders, we normally call it reel to reel. It has two slots where we put tape into, and it gets recorded. Now the second one is we have cassette recorder. The second recorder, that one is common among the people, and it is the journalists also take it along for interview. Now, the equipment that's needed for audio recording in the classroom or for instructional purpose, there are two. The first one is microphone. The second one is tape recorder. The microphones, these are instruments for converting sound waves into electrical energy variation, which may then be amplified, transmitted, or recorded. They are the equipment that receive sound from the speaker or from the teacher. The one I'm using one as I'm talking now, and it amplify the instruction, it amplified the speech, it amplified the sound, and it has amplified the talk. It make learning more easy, make it teaching and learning more easier. That is microphone. That type of microphone, we have about 4 types of them. The first one is omnidirectional microphone, which are equally sensitive in all directions when suitably mounted, suitable for recording group discussion. This kind of microphone, they are highly sensitive, and it can be placed in front of the large audience and receive voice from any angle. The second one is bidirectional or figure of 8 microphone. This kind of microphone, they are sensitive in two opposite horizontal direction. They are suitable for recording interview involving 2 people, with one on either side of the microphone. It's quite different from the first one. Now, the third one is called cardioid microphone, and these are highly sensitive in one direction. They are not sensitive at all in the opposite direction, and are suitable for recording in a single speaker. If we are familiar in the studio where they place it somewhere, and the musician or whoever that is studio makes use of them. So we have the last one, which is referred to as gun or rifle microphones, and these are highly directional in their sensitivity, and they only pick up sound within a narrow cone and are suitable for picking up sound from a single source located some distance away. Like during this COVID era, the journalists, most of the time, they make use of gun microphone, where we only put it forward and they get the information from wherever they are interviewing. Now, how to make a recording. We can make recording of any audio media by making sure that what you are recording is of the highest possible quality. That is very, very important. And another one is to try to optimize the recording environment. The environment must be free from noise, and there is no allowed noise to come in. And then we should use appropriate equipment and materials for our recording. Use an external microphone like the one that I'm using to record this one, because the one that came with the machine might be faulty. We do not know. Use external. Then we should use the best tape recorder available, assuming it is suitable for the job in hand, and bearing in mind that open reel machines are generally much more suitable for making original recording than cassette machine. So all these things, they are very, very important to take note of. And then use good quality tape of suitable grade and of sufficient length to give the required playing time at the tape speed you intend using. Now, that is that about how to make a. Then let's go to presentation of content on tape. That is when we want to make use of tape for our instructional delivery. One, we should introduce the subject of tape from the onset by telling the student what they should be expecting and what contained in the cassette. Now, the second one is to use conversational rather than textbook dictation. That is, we should communicate to the student as if we are talking to them, not that we are reading from the textbook like normal lecture method. Then we should talk to the recorder as if you are talking to a friend. Like you talk to the recorder, you are making the record as if the person you are talking to is in front of you. That is very important. Do not lecture. It's not allowed. It's not good. Keep the tape short, even if it is to be used for adult students. And you should also involve your listener in meaningful learning activities. That is very good. For example, you can supply a study guide and worksheet for use along with the tape. You can give instruction on the tape as well and say, follow these activities and make sure you get your equipment on the table, and then you give them instruction. It's allowed and it is possible. Then try to provide ample space for students to take notes while listening to the radio. It's not, you should have in mind the students' work, that usually we make use of that ample time to jot something down. So you should use possession. That is what you call possession, for them to use to go along with the tape. Now, what have we learned today? Today we've distinguished between the various categories of audio media that we use in education. We describe the instructional use of each of the audio media studied. Then we describe how to make a good audio media recording. It is bye-bye for me, Ayodeji Muideen Badmus. Bye-bye.